Imagine a world where we're bombarded by good news 24/7. A world where stories of kindness, of everyday miracles, and of hope. Bear with me here, even though it might sound a little bit crazy, because I have this idea and I'd really like to know if you would like to take part. So please stay to the end to see whether it's something that you would be interested in. We've talked several times, you and I, in the comments section of this channel about how 24/7 news is affecting our mental health and our well-being. We've all agreed, haven't we, that constant exposure to negativity brings us all down and affects us day to day, making us feel fearful, depressed even. It impacts our day to day. So I wonder, what would be the impact of constant exposure to positivity? What would that do to our collective mental health? I haven't been doing so well lately. It might be the weather or my own personal predilection for gloominess. I don't know. I know I project a cheerful demeanour on this channel, and I do feel that way most of the time. But we're all multifaceted, aren't we? And I have noticed a definite lessening of my own sense of well-being. To be perfectly honest with you, this channel is one of the brightest spots in my life at the moment. I love talking to you all and hearing your ideas. It gives me ideas, it gives me motivation, and it gives me hope. And I hope that some of you have felt the same way when you've commented in the channel and seen what other people have put. I avoid 24/7 news now. Like so many of us, I feel things too deeply, and watching the suffering of others goes in too deep. I really fail to see how traumatizing ourselves means that we can help. We need to be mentally well so that we can gather resources and we can help those in trouble and those going through traumas. Being traumatized ourselves vicariously, how can that be a good thing? But although I don't watch 24/7 news, I do have Facebook, and I belong to our local community page, like so many of us. It keeps me up to date with what's going on locally, you know, where the next dance is or what they're doing at the local pub. But scrolling through that local page, I've noticed lately, has left me feeling kind of empty. I always feel kind of bad afterwards. Why? You'd think, wouldn't you, that a local page that connects the community would be good for us. In fact, for me, the opposite is true. In 1 week, in amongst the gossip and the complaints about bad parking and dogs barking and people letting off fireworks when they shouldn't be, etc., etc., I've read a detailed account about an incident that borders on sexual harassment, which is terrifying. I've found out that the village is being targeted by an organised crime gang who are breaking into houses, stealing car keys and stealing cars to order, which leaves you feeling fearful. And I've seen what amounts to a digital version of a pub brawl amongst some of the local blokes. I mean, who are these people who live around me? Over time, all this negativity has just worn me down. Before that, I thought I lived in a nice village with lovely people. I guess I was seeing my neighbours through rose-tinted glasses. Not all of them, of course. There are some lovely people around here. But you get this distorted view when you see it through the lens of a Facebook page. I'm torn, to be honest, between feeling that I need to know the police warnings about the break-ins, to wanting to retreat to my own Joanna-shaped bubble where everything is la la la, and I feel comfortable where I live. Am I alone in feeling like this? I'd love to know in the comments. What do you think? Are you affected by this blanket of negativity which seems to be tucking us all in? Do you have a U-shaped bubble to retreat to? How do you cope with it? Which brings me back to the point of this video. It's all very well to tell negativity to neg off, but what about taking it one step further? I don't know about you, but if somebody says something negative to me, even if 10 other people have said something positive, I will remember that negative remark far longer than I remember the positive. Why is that? Well, our brains are hardwired, aren't they, to keep us safe. and we look for the negative. We have this confirmation bias that sees us see bad things more than we see good things. But our brains are trainable, aren't they? Neuroplasticity means that our brains continue to evolve long after childhood, that we can make these new neural pathways in the brain. So, I've decided to start actively looking for positive news. I want to change the confirmation bias that I live with to one that looks for the good, because where attention goes, energy flows, right? There is such a thing as a positive bias. If we look for something, we're going to see more of the same. This could be the most genteel rebellion against the state of the world ever. It doesn't involve carrying a placard. It doesn't involve walking in a protest or writing to your local politician. It's all about changing how we see things, because we start to affect everyone around us if we can change. Here's what I propose and how you can join me. I'm going to actively look for positive news stories, whether they're global or local, just in our communities. And then I'm going to post once a week if I can find enough positive news stories, which I am confident that I'll be able to once I start. I'm going to post once a week on a Monday a positive news story in the community tab on this page. And then what I'd really love, if you would like to join in and you would like to change your brain in the same way as I'm going to try and change mine, I want you to be looking out for good news stories as well. And you can write in the comments of that thread what you found and tell us all, flood our feed with good news stories. And then let's review it in a few months and see if we've made any difference to the way we feel about the world and our general mental health. What do you think? Is it worth it? Am I going to start doing this and not be able to find enough good news stories? I don't think so. Imagine our own little oasis of good news, a community of kindness and humanity seekers lifting each other up. Over time, we could create a positive confirmation bias. That could have a profound effect on all of us and those we love. Are you in? The first good news story is in the community already. Drop me a comment, count me in if you'd like to take part. Together, we're stronger. Be happy.